So this controversy began when Sia released clips of her new movie Music, which stars her favorite person in the world, Maddie Ziegler, as an autistic teen. Now Maddie is neurotypical, which means she's not on the autistic spectrum. People noticed this and took great issue with it. They told her, "You could have hired an autistic actress to play an autistic person." "This is mockery," they said. Sia responded with great frustration, saying, "Grr, fuckity fuck, why don't you watch my film before you judge it?" Fury. People also discovered that she had worked with Autism Speaks, a very problematic organization. Sia defended herself and said that they only came aboard after the film was completed, and she didn't know that they were such a divisive group. But the fight raged on. Autistic actors told her that she could have hired any of them on short notice. Sia responded saying, "Maybe you're just a bad actor." Oh boy. Oh no. Sia, stop tweeting. Please, for the love of God. But no, it was too late. The damage had been done. Criticism came flooding in all directions, and there was no stopping it. Where to begin? The heart of this controversy centers around the question of whether it is appropriate for a neurotypical actor to play a character who is neurodivergent, which means someone on the autistic etc. spectrum. Before we get into that, let's get a few things out of the way first. Sia could have most definitely, certainly, without a doubt, handled herself better on Twitter, and her behavior makes it difficult for me to defend her. I consulted the official lexicon of problematic takes and confirmed that her tweets were, objectively, not a good look. Also, Autism Speaks is a bad group, and I don't know how, with all her research, that she somehow missed this. But, being the person I am, I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. People mess up, and they work with the wrong people. They don't do all their research. I'm not really here to pass judgment on an individual such as Sia, but rather I'd like to talk more about the general questions this controversy has raised. Let's discuss the casting of Maddie Ziegler, who is not neurodivergent, to play the role of an autistic character. This person on Twitter says, "We don't just need autistic actors to play autistic characters for authenticity. We need it because only an autistic actor can capture autistic joy." Alright, I do have a few problems with this. First, an actor's job isn't to absolutely know what a certain experience is like. Of course, getting into the part, trying to understand your character inside and out, can yield a better performance. However, there are some roles that actors take on that they can never fully understand. What it's like being a serial killer, or to lose a child, or to be suicidal. There are so many roles that actors take on that they just don't understand to the fullest. But an actor has succeeded not to the degree they understand their character, but to the degree that they can make the audience believe that they are that character. Art is an illusion. Fiction is a lie. That's the point. The actor is not the part they play. Admittedly, there is a practical aspect to the demand that autistic people play autistic characters. Perhaps Hollywood needs to utilize new talent from actors of marginalized groups. But I still don't think, even if there was more representation, that certain roles can only go to certain people based on their psychology. If we are to avoid actors being typecast into certain roles, something that seems altogether problematic in and of itself, then there should be no strict requirements for who can play what. But something like neurodivergence presents a whole new set of questions and confusions. For instance, if a film means to depict a person at such a severe level of disability, you cannot and should not try to force someone in that mental state into the intensely disciplined and demanding work environment that characterizes a blockbuster film. Apparently, Sia did try at first to work with a low-functioning autistic girl, but she couldn't handle being on set. This leads to a peculiar inevitability that whoever plays this character, whether they are on the spectrum or not, will have to act out a level of disability that they do not fully understand. Perhaps a neurodivergent person, because of their unique psychology, could play the role better than a neurotypical person. Still, I don't think that casting a person who can't play the role as good as another person represents a moral failure, but rather an aesthetic one. At the end of the day, the person who can work under the demands and produce the best performance should get the job, whatever their diagnosis. But as I said, this performance of a low-functioning autistic would still be an illusion and a mockery regardless. However, I think we can find the answer to why Maddie's performance seemed uncanny with a rather nuanced point, which goes like this.
The reason casting Maddie in this movie is a bad call is because Maddie Ziegler is known for being a dancer, a fully non-disabled, non-neurodivergent. So she's a neurotypical dancer and now I guess an actress who's been on reality TV, been in music videos, and we know who Maddie Ziegler is, right? And so casting her in this movie, you're seeing Maddie Ziegler playing an autistic person or pretending to be disabled, right? Which is quite uncomfortable to watch.
So we, the audience, already knowing the actress to be neurotypical, automatically perceive her acting and not the character herself. But again, I don't consider this a moral failure, but an aesthetic one. On the flip side, there are actual autistic actors like Anthony Hopkins who I also have trouble imagining playing a severely autistic person because I'm so used to seeing him in so many other high-functioning and larger-than-life roles. He might do it well, but it might still result in the same uncanniness simply due to his fame. Further on the flip side, it's my opinion that Cynthia Erivo did a fantastic job at portraying a neurodivergent character in Stephen King's The Outsider. Surprisingly, there was no controversy surrounding this. After all, the character Holly does fall into a common trope about neurodivergent characters having genius superpowers. Gee, where have we seen that before over and over? Speaking of tropes and stereotypes, there are some other aspects to the backlash that bother me. There are many comments on Sia's music trailer that criticize certain ways the character smiles or moves their body. They say it's a stereotypical depiction. I can't help but feel that this is a bit ableist in and of itself. Maybe I'm ignorant to what counts as stereotypical or exaggerated in terms of autism. That certainly may be the case. But if Maddie's performance was taken from life, I don't see how it's right to cringe at it. Unless it's super obvious that it's inauthentic and fake. I'll explore that point more in a second. But based on the comments on Sia's music trailer, it seems like higher functioning autistic people are upset that any depiction of a lower functioning autistic person is going to skew people's perspectives about autism. But does that mean movies are not allowed to depict low functioning autistic leads? How is that not ableist? Here is my hot controversial take at the end of this. I feel like you could show a person footage of a real autistic person, but tell them that it's an actor, and then watch them get mad at the depiction. There are many videos of various mental illnesses from the 1980s on YouTube where the comment section has people speculating over whether something is real or performed, because the action seems so severe and over the top. It's not the easiest thing to discern the difference. Learning or knowing that something is performance can instantly change your perception about how offensive it is. Apparently, many of these videos are scripted, and even as someone who has experienced both schizophrenic and bipolar episodes, they completely fooled me. But anyway, I'm actually really interested in knowing what y'all think about this subject. Was there anything that I missed in my analysis? Is there a viewpoint I'm not considering? If so, please let me know. I do read every single comment, so don't be afraid to share your opinion. So I've said enough, I think. That's all, folks. Bye.